this computer. It's International Coaching Week. And so this week I wanted to talk to coaches that I admire, that I love, that I think do good, great work, because we're celebrating the power and impact that you can have with coaching. So I'm talking to my friend Joe, who was a coach long before I ever even thought about being a coach. Joe was a coach, and we know each other because she was really my first friend when I moved to Sweden. So, so that's how we met. And
Wow.
I wanted to let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about, why you're a coach, and tell us about you.
Okay, let's see how I can do this in a succinct way, Leia. All right, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Um, we just talked about this before, when other coaches are generous and kind of promoting other coaches without buying into the fear that, oh God, I can't share because then they're going to go with that coach, and just that we have this understanding that there's enough to go around for everybody, and that and there actually more people should have coaches because it's such a great thing. I mean, in sports is completely accepted, right? But when I started coaching, and I'll tie back to that, 3 decades ago,
Wow.
there was no coaching, there was no coaches. So sometimes I'm asked, like, what are your certifications? I said merit.
Yeah.
Like I I mean, there was no such thing. We were
Right.
just a bunch of kids who were experimenting on ourselves in New York City and trying to figure out how it all worked, because we wanted to find something very specific, which was, if you don't want to go the religious route, if you
Mhm.
don't want to join a cult, if you right, like, where is it? Like, where's a teacher who can teach me about life? Where's a teacher who can teach me how things go? And clearly you're not taught it in school. So we were trying to figure ourselves out, and really learned by trial and error all along the way.
Yeah.
And I why I became a coach was interesting, because that's also along the lines of what I think you and I eventually teach, which is, how do you end up where you belong?
Yeah.
And I would say, like, I build careers and businesses, and I do that through a lot of coaching startup founders and bosses and C-suite. But I say, you're a boss. Like, if you have a business, I don't care if it's yay big. If the business is your stay-at-home mom, and that's because that's the
A
business.
big
Oh
job,
my God,
right?
you're a general. You are a general. But you know what I mean. Like it's
Mhm.
an intentional, or even a project. Like, I want to do this project. So that's when I say a boss. Like, you're the boss. That's the project. But often I say it with senior leadership in some capacity. And so my point with that is that to end up where you belong, to, like, end up truly in your lane of
Yeah.
life, given your strengths and where you come from and what makes you happy, that is a very refined job. Like, it is not easy. And I don't know about you, but I've certainly made some U-turns. But at that time, I had a genuine musical education from age 9 to 21, as all I
Mhm.
ever wanted to become was a singer.
Yeah.
Here's the kicker: I became a singer, and I hated it. As a job, I hate, like, the day to day, late nights, bad pay, sexual harassments,
Right.
you know, ridiculous competition with very, very talented people. I was like, this sucks.
I sort of
This
stole the
really
love of
sucks.
it, right? Like you had this love, and then
Yeah,
it was
but, like, yeah, and it was like, this is not where I want to work. Like, I don't want it as a job. But then, interestingly enough, whereas colleagues and friends, you have to have a bread gig, right? Because to survive on that really bad pay, you need other income. So others would, wait tables, which I did for a stint as well. But then coaching came around, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, and that became like my day job.
yeah.
And there was a very definite moment. There was a moment in time when I had started coaching, and it really kind of was rolling, when I had to confront a very difficult truth, which was, all right, singing was my dream
Yeah.
and my love and my passion. Coaching is my calling.
Mm.
And if you know anything about callings, like priests or what have you, you don't choose it. It chooses you, and it will not leave you alone. And
Right.
it may not be your passion. It's not what you wanted to do. But all throughout these years, Leah, I have tried at times to do something different.
Right. Right.
it won't work. I have moved away. It's almost like you're trying to flee it, like try to get away. I just watched The Matrix with the kids for a second time because I think it's an awesome movie. It has a lot of teachings, and there's this time, and he's like, you know what? I just found out I'm not the one. The oracle told him so, and he's kind of relieved, embarrassed but relieved.
Yeah.
And Trinity is like, no, no, you are. It's like, no,
No,
sorry,
it can't be me.
no,
Isn't
no.
me.
I know, and I have proof. But anyway, I've tried to get away, and it finds me, which is what happens with your calling. Like it finds you.
Right. Right.
And when you surrender, that's also a relief. So you
Yeah.
can run,
Yeah.
but you cannot hide. You can run, but you cannot. So bottom line is, it's like, I'm like, okay, I surrendered. And then it is great.
Yeah.
It is great. Like it is difficult
Yeah.
if you're going to do it right.
Yeah. I love
But that's how, it's not like how I found it, how it
Sure.
found me.
Yeah.
And
I love that. So who is
so
going?
so 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 so, so,
I'm
so my
sorry.
little so I guess I'm sorry. So my little footnote to that is having a mentor or a coach
Hmm.
can kind of speed up that process. It
Yeah.
won't be as difficult maybe as it was for me trying to figure it out myself.
Right.
Anyway,
No, I love
back to
that.
you.
So true. I think, and it's a huge part of why I do what I do as well, is like
Mm.
the little like guideposts that send people in the right direction. I even as the
Right?
coach, I often say like, I don't know the answer to what it is what you're passionate about, but let's figure it out together. I'll lead the
Yeah.
way and you can
Yeah.
tell me,
Yeah.
right?
I know some people ask me like, don't you feel very like a lot of responsibility instead of telling people what to do? I'm like, oh God, no.
No,
Like I don't tell people what to do. It's not my life. Like that'd be very dangerous.
yeah,
True. I wouldn't
totally.
dream of it.
Yeah, that would make us a cult leader, I think. But
Yeah, totally. Like go this way. Like,
you now
okay.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I always say the question that eventually you ask every client is, what do you want? And if they
Mhm.
say, I don't know, I'm always like, yeah, me either. I don't know what you want
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Good luck.
Let's,
Bye.
let's figure it out. But I don't know what
Nice to
you
know
want.
you.
Right?
Yeah.
Me either. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's your, like, when you think about like ideal clients or clients you love
Mm.
to work with, who
Right.
is it?
Right. Um, it's someone who I think probably they know what they want.
Mhm.
They probably know what they want already most of the time, or they have an inkling. We don't start there. They don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
Uh, they have many choices,
Yeah.
and they need help sorting what's what. I say for me, coaching is a sorting job. I'm very much like that organizer, like the one who comes into your closet, like, oh, this goes, and how, when did you
Hey,
last wear this?
wearing this.
Right. And like this goes in this bucket, this goes in this bucket,
Yeah.
and like clear the confusion.
Yeah.
So that and then once you do that, then you have real things you can do versus this abstract mess
Mhm.
where all things are equal and it looks like everything is important, but it isn't. It just looks that way. And I understand. And that fog is true for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a fish in your own fish bowl, like a goldfish, swimming in circles, thinking that you're getting somewhere. And also, when I work with companies, the problem is that even if they support each other, they're in the same fish bowl,
Yeah.
so they can't see it. And neither can I. That's why I have my monk. I have a monk. That's my monk. I have a monk. And my monk will make sure that I don't go like that.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's like we get so tunnel vision like in our space that we can't even see what we're dealing with. I know, I don't know about you, but I've left situations and then looked back and been like, oh, that's what was happening. But when you're in it, you could
Oh,
not see your part. You couldn't see, you
right.
were in it. And then you look back and go,
And
oh,
also, that saying like culture eats strategy for breakfast. We have a culture in our own head, in our company we work in our family, and it is like virus in the background. We can't see culture. We can't smell it. It really is like gas, right? And
yeah,
then your house will blow up because you can't smell it. It's there. Like there
yeah.
is no way you can know the culture you're in if you've been in it for a while.
Right, right. And so you
You
need
don't.
that,
It's
you need a little monitor, someone to pay attention to it and say,
yeah,
"Ooh, red flags over here,
exactly.
green flags over
That's
there."
right.
That's
Do
great.
you know that Emperor Nero? I think it was Nero. he had a slave that he employed solely for the purpose of standing next to him, whispering in his ear, "You too will die. You
Mm,
too are
mm,
mortal." So
wow.
smart.
Wow.
Because that's what happens, right? With
We
at the
get that.
top, no one means to get hubris. No one means to get greedy. That's not right. Let me become a greedy, power hungry person. And it
Right.
sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It corrupts, right? It absolute power corrupts
yeah,
everything. So yeah.
yeah. And you never think you're going to be that person.
No, no.
You never think that you're going to, once I have the power and the money, I won't become that. It's like, okay, all right,
Right. Sure,
we'll
but yeah,
see.
and I think you're absolutely right. I think having a coach, somebody who can tell you the truth when maybe no one else is, because I think the more leadership
That's right.
responsibility you have, the less people tell you the truth. Whether or not
That's
people want to say that.
Oh, totally.
CEOs, nobody tells.
Because they have a hand in the money bag. And sometimes they don't even know that they're influenced by their own agenda. So it's not even like sometimes
No,
people know
right.
that they're trying to guide a decision. It's just in it. They're just in it.
Yeah, yeah. So if you were trying, if you wanted people to know something about coaching that you
Yeah.
think they don't know, or there's like a myth out there about
Mhm.
coaching that you wish you could dispel, what would it be?
That is good advice that doesn't lead to anything real.
Oh yeah, say more
Or
about that.
that you're inspired. I mean, there's some coaches that are, and that unfortunately, that's true. Some coaches are super inspiring, but there's no real result at the end,
Right. Yeah. Sounds
and
sounds
that's the
good.
only thing, right? I want to know, like, I check, like, I do quality check, like, I want to see your bottom line. I want to see. I don't want the money that people spend on me to be out of pocket. I mean, there is initially, right? But in the end, I want it to have paid back and more.
Yeah.
They should never be like, oh, I spent money, and like then they have less money. They
Yeah.
should have more money. And if they don't have more money or a better position or that, then that's on me.
Yeah. That makes total sense. I love that. And I think that it is a really good point. It's not just like hire someone to tell you you're pretty, right? The goal is
No,
let's work on something so that you come
no,
out of it on
yeah.
the other side, getting where you wanted to go. Yeah.
Or even good advice. There are tons of good books you can pick up on that.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
I can recommend some books,
Right.
but the books can't take you there, but a coach can.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Like I tell people that it's like, I give them two analogies. I say it's like a sports coach. The coach, you make the play before, you send them out in the field, and when they're like, or on the court, or on the playing field, and when they are out there, you can't think then. You can't be on your head. You have to be present. You just execute the play.
Right.
And then when you're done, you come back, you evaluate. Coach says, okay, now we have to tweak because I was watching, so I know what it looked like from over here because you were just doing it. So you can't evaluate from that. And then now we tweak and you go out and play it this way, right?
Yeah.
And that way you can't fail. You tried it, fine, it didn't work, come back, reorganize. Or often when someone is anything really, if you want to make a splash, things will move quickly. They should.
Mhm.
It's not pedestrian, like I
Yeah.
say, it's fast.
Yeah.
And that's also time when you have to make quick decisions. And in that moment, if you don't know which one to make, it's kind of scary. And
Yeah.
then maybe you don't make any, and that's going to be a huge opportunity cost. So I say, when I coach, any fast moving project, again, which it should be if it's successful, or a startup, I say you're like the Formula One driver, and
Yeah.
I'm your map reader. And because I've driven this course before, and you haven't, so you don't know that there's a wall
Yeah.
down there. And if you don't make a sharp left, which I can tell you a few steps beforehand, you will crash,
Yeah.
which most of them do.
Yeah.
We only hear about the successful startups. We only hear about the success. We don't hear about the thousands that failed. And that was not for lack of talent, money, anything. Even they did the right things, but there were some key things that they missed because they hadn't driven the course.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I read the map, you drive.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's such a
Can't do both at the same time
right. No,
because
it's a
you'll be
great
distracted.
analogy. Yeah. And especially at that pace when you're trying to make a difference and reach your clients and
Yeah.
yeah, it makes total sense. So as a sort of summing up, how do people reach you? And are you
Yeah.
accepting clients? How do you want them to find you?
Right. Well, I think you're going to post it as well, but and because it might be a little bit hard to spell, like coaching at
Yeah.
sawalha.com, coachjoe.net. That is not that hard, but I'm on LinkedIn and you can always DM me there. Um, And that's how.
Awesome. And you are accepting clients currently?
Yeah, I think that
Always.
we all are always. And you
Always.
know what? If I'm full, I'll put you on a wait list, or I will refer you to someone I recommend. I'll
Perfect.
send them to you. I'll send them
No,
right to you.
perfect. I'm the same. I'm always like, yeah, yeah, I'm accepting clients. Come talk to me. We'll figure it out, or I'll find you someone. So let's at least have
Of
a conversation.
course.
So
Yeah.
very cool. Well, Joe, thanks for spending time with me today and chatting about this. It's so fun to catch up with you and to hear how you think about coaching.
Thank you so much for having me.